It's been a while since I did a video on the Dji Spark, and with the bad weather we've been having lately, I figured today is as good a day as any. So in this video, we're going to show you what's inside my Dji Spark case, and I'm going to give you my thoughts after owning it for 6 months. Before we get started, I wanted to pass along that I did a full review on the Dji Spark back in July. You can watch it by clicking this button right here. If you haven't watched it, go ahead and do so. I provide a lot of useful information and tips, and I compare it to my former drone, the DJI Phantom. Now this case here is different from the one that comes with the DJI Spark. This, along with a few other accessories, were given to me by lighttake.com to do reviews on. You can watch that video right here also. This, along with all the other products, we'll have links down below in the description if you want to check them out. Now, let's see what's inside the case. And here's the inside of the case. Now the first thing I want to show you is this Gimbal Protector, or Gimbal Guard. This is an aftermarket accessory. I bought it off eBay for, I believe, $8, and I highly recommend getting one. It protects the gimbal from getting bounced around or banged up, and it slides on and off easily. It protects the 3D sensor along with the gimbal. Now you can't fly with it on because it does lock the gimbal in place, but it's good for when you're traveling. Next up, you can see we got 2 batteries here. I have 3 in total, 1 on the Spark. They have room for the controller. Now this green decal is almost like a wrap, like a vinyl wrap. This was also another product that was given to me for review. It didn't fit very well on the Spark, but it did look pretty good on the controller, so I left it on there. Here we got some blue colored props. Now I have tested these fly and sound the same as the factory props that come with it, but these are just blue in color, and these were also a product for review, so I don't use them, but I have them as a backup just in case. And here we got some landing gear or leg extensions. These are slip-on legs for the Spark, and it helps it give about an inch of clearance, and I'll show you what it looks like right now. And this is how it looks with the legs on here. As you can see, it gives it about an inch of clearance and helps keep it off the ground to avoid any dust or debris getting into the motors. All they do is twist on and off. It takes literally seconds to put them on and off. I don't use them that often because I typically just hand launch and catch the Spark when I'm flying it, but it's nice to have them just in case. And the good thing about this is that the Spark will still fit in the case with the landing gear on, so if you ever do choose to get it, it doesn't take up that much room if you use this case. Up here is a little zippered pouch area. This is actually large enough to fit a full-size tablet. You can fit, I believe, up to a 10-inch tablet in there. In here I keep a spare micro SD card, and this is my OTG, which stands for on-the-go cable. This is a on-the-go cable that connects to your smartphone. I have the USB Type-C adapter for my Galaxy S8, and this connects to the controller. It's a very similar setup to what the Mavic controller has. This basically gives you a stronger connection, and it'll allow you to get a clearer image on your phone, and you can also fly a little bit farther. It eliminates the Wi-Fi connection from the phone to the controller and basically hardwires it, so you don't have to rely on the Wi-Fi from the phone to the controller. It's just from the drone to the controller, so it eliminates that additional connection and direct connects it. So this cable is only a few dollars, so I'll put a link to it along with everything else down below if you want to pick one up for yourself. This is a very well made case. It has laser cut inserts. It keeps everything tight and secure and won't bounce around. You could fit more props here. You can fit an additional battery. You can fit your charging brick. You can fit the 3-port charging dock, the plate here. I don't bring it with me because I typically have enough power with me to do my flights, and I'm back home the same day to recharge them. Now the outside of this case is pretty nice. It has a carbon fiber look to it. It is water resistant. It has a carry handle. It's fairly tough and durable, and when you zipper it up, there's a nice seal there, so it prevents any water or dust from getting in there, and it will help somewhat from protection being crushed. It's fairly firm. The only downfall is it doesn't have a shoulder strap, which I wish it did, but other than that, I could just slip it in my backpack and not even know it's there. Now when you do purchase a Spark, whether it's the regular package or the Fly More combo, you do get this little hard foam case. The drone actually comes shipped inside this case. It fits the drone, 2 batteries, and some props. And this is good for when you're doing the gesture mode, where you're just going to fly with your hands, or if you're going to fly with your phone. But there's no room in here for a controller, and this will eventually break down. It is just foam, but it is hard, so it will keep you protected for the time being, but it's not a long-term solution. Now here's the bag that comes with the Spark when you buy the Fly More combo. It's not a bad bag, it's just not very roomy. You got 2 battery spots, the controller pouch, and the room for the Spark. You got a little flap up here for some spare props, and a little zipper area here. You could fit maybe your smartphone or a small tablet in there. But the downfall with this, it's very soft, and it's not going to protect it all from being crushed or dropped. So it's not very durable, but it is a nice looking bag, and it does have the shoulder strap, which is convenient, but just not a whole lot of protection there. So that's why I'm using the other case instead. Alright, now I want to give you some of my thoughts on it after owning it for approximately 6 months. I purchased this back, I think, around the end of June, and I did my review video in the beginning of July, so it's right around 6 months of the time frame of opening it. And all I can say is this thing is absolutely amazing. It's the best money I've spent on a drone so far to date, and I have no regrets at all. As you do know, I did buy the Fly More combo package, so it did come with the drone, 2 batteries, the controller, the case, and the extra prop guards and everything else, and it's money well spent. I have no regrets at all. I'm going to show you a couple of clips pretty soon, just to show you the quality of images that this produces. It's pretty amazing. I personally feel that drones are made for specific individual needs, and those needs could range from being FPV flyers, racers, doing stunts, photography, videography, and I believe there's a drone out there for everybody depending on what your needs are. And for me, my needs are being compact and portable, cost efficient, and not drawing any attention to yourself. When I had my DJI Phantom Standard, although it was a really good drone, it produced great images, it just drew a lot of attention. It's a very large bird, it was pretty loud, and everywhere you flew it, people were looking up at it and seeing who was flying it, and ideally it's not the best for certain scenarios. So the clips I show you, I'm going to explain why this is much better. So I have 2 clips I'm going to show you from Ocean City, Maryland, when I was there on vacation, and 2 from inside an abandoned building. It's an abandoned Days Inn hotel, and I'm going to roll those right now, and then I'll get back to you. Alright, those first 2 clips were flown at Ocean City, Maryland, the one going across the beach. I wanted to share that clip with you just because when I was flying it there, hardly anyone knew that this was up in the air. Aside from the people that were around me that saw me take it off, no one was able to see it or hear it flying overhead. And that's a big plus in my book, because you don't want to draw attention to yourself, especially in certain environments, certain locations. And this thing flew flawlessly, and no one knew it was even up in the air. Now, the guy on the paddleboard I wanted to share because it's just a beautiful looking image. It's something you would see in a movie. It's very cinematic looking, and I was able to track him with the Spark with no problem. Now, the second location, as I said, is the abandoned Days Inn hotel I filmed. If you want to check out that video, you can watch it right here. But I flew that inside the courtyard, and in there was a lot of obstructions and metal beams, so I didn't have a full GPS lock in there, but this does have downward vision positioning system, so I was able to maintain my orientation and it didn't drift off. I was able to fly it around obstacles and fly it down low underneath those trees there, and there was only about a foot of clearance. If I had my Phantom, I wouldn't have been able to do that. So this was really amazing to fly it inside there. Now, just before you guys say anything, I'm aware that the Mavic is very well capable of doing the same shots and is able to go farther and fly longer and all those other things. But again, I'm just trying to give you my thoughts on the Spark because this is what I own. I can't speak on behalf of the Mavic. I know all the good things about it though. I've seen videos, I've heard the comments, but for the money that you're spending on this, it's well worth it. It produces some amazing images. The only complaint I have about this drone is that it only shoots in 1080 30p. I film all my videos, including this one right now, in 1080 60p. So it would have been nice if it did come in that format, but unfortunately it doesn't. Maybe down the road it will change in a future firmware update, but if it doesn't, it doesn't. It's not a deal breaker, but that is really the only complaint. The other thing I wanted to mention too is that people still complain about battery life on this, saying, oh, I would buy it, but the battery life is too short. Now when you look at the size of this battery, it's considerably smaller than the Mavic or even a Phantom battery. And to get 12 minutes of time out of this is pretty impressive, because you got to realize right here is a 3D sensor on it. You got a 2-axis gimbal, 4 brushless motors, obstacle avoidance, downward vision and positioning system, the GPS system. Everything is required to operate off this battery, as well as give you 12 minutes of flight time. So when you put all that into consideration, it's pretty impressive. And this battery only runs around $48 to $50. You could buy at least 2 batteries for the price of a Mavic or Phantom battery. Now when you buy the Fly More combo, it does come with 2 batteries. That's roughly 24 minutes of flight time. If you can't get your flight or your shots in with that amount of time, then you probably shouldn't be flying a drone. Now when I go out to fly, I always bring 3 fully charged batteries, and I very rarely ever have to use all 3 of them. 2 full batteries is around 24 minutes of flight time, and I have everything I need within that point. Now if you want something that's going to sit in the air for 20-25 minutes and it's going to shoot 4K video, then obviously you're going to want the Phantom 4 or the Mavic or something more professional. This is not for you, but if you want something that's quick and easy to get up in the air, lightweight, portable, cost efficient compared to those other drones, then the Spark's the way to go. The other thing that's pretty amazing too is, if you haven't noticed, there's a lot more accessories out now for the Spark than almost any other drone out there. Now there's a gentleman I follow on YouTube. He has a channel named Drone Valley, and he does a lot of reviews on all types of drone products, and he did a bunch of them on the Spark. And as of late, he's done a bunch of Spark accessory reviews, not only cases, the leg extensions, but portable charging docks and all types of things. So when it comes to the Spark, you have a lot of options out there for accessories and upgrades, and like I said, it's more than I've ever seen on any other drone. So the Spark is very popular in the market, and it looks like it's here to stay. Alright guys, that was a look what's inside my DJI Spark case and my thoughts after owning it for 6 months. Again, any of the products you've seen will be linked down below in the description. If you have any questions at all about the products or the Spark itself or anything at all, just leave a comment below. I always try my best to reply to those. And I'll see you guys in the next video.